Fatokun, and this is my first time of presenting to the General House. So I'd just like to start with like a little bit about myself for the few people who really don't know me yet. I'm from Nigeria. Um, I know we all know Nigeria. I believe so. It's popular either for our political news or for news on our musicians or actors, but I'm sure most of us have heard Nigeria before. I'm from this small town called Ekiti State, in the southwest part of Nigeria. Um, the third of five children. My parents are still alive in Lagos, Nigeria. Um, Currently, I would say I'm about a year and 3 months old in Canada. But before coming here, I used to work in a place called NIPRID, the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, where I was a pharmacist. I'm still a pharmacist there. I'm still licensed to practice there. And I basically was into research. I did a lot of natural product research, isolation and characterization of secondary metabolites from plants, majorly, and a lot of microscopy of botanicals, basically. So, and come summer last year, I came into the research lab as a research assistant, and I was gladly thrown into the computing group where I met these guys. I hope I have permission to show your faces. And I needed that to up my skills in informatics, and so I, besides Wishet Lab work and trying to keep up with these guys in the computing group, family is important to me and it's a major part of my life. You could see my spouse there. I have two kids. A lot of you have met them before. And maybe what most people don't know is what I call my happy place. I sing, I write songs. So if, for example, you're not seeing me in the lab or I'm not at home with my kids or doing family stuff, I'd probably be seen in one studio or on one stage holding a mic. Uh, yep. Basically, that's a summary about me. Today, I'd like to talk about who a data curator is, and I picked this topic. It stemmed from a question my 6-year-old daughter asked me sometime last year. She was like, "Mommy, what are you now?" I guess it was my turn to answer that question. I'm the one who usually asks them, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" From time to time, I push that question to them. So I guess it was my turn that day. And she said, "Mommy, what are you now?" I I couldn't quite answer the question. And she said, "Oh, you were a pharmacist in Nigeria. You used to do research, right? So now we're in Canada. What are you now?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm just trying to get a PhD." And she's like, "Okay, at the end of your PhD, what will you be?" Uh, I said, "I'm sure I'd be a lot of things that most of which I don't even know right now. But okay, for now, let's just say I'm a curator. All right. You see me draw these pathways?" She's like, "Yes." So I gathered data for the office. She's like, "Okay, a curator." I said, "Yes, a data curator." She said, "What's that about?" I said, "Okay, just give me some time. I'll find out and get back to you." So between then and now, I did a lot of search about who a data curator is. What would it take me to call myself a professional data curator? Would I be able to say that at the end of 1 year in the Wishet Lab, I am a data curator? And so that's what informed putting this together. Okay, so this is just a summary of what I'll be talking about. And we all know that data is a big thing now. It's like the lifeblood of most organizations. It's now a huge commodity, really expensive. A lot of people are making money off data right now. And it's basically a tool for driving decision making in most institutions or making decisions for the public. And there are a lot of data professionals or professionals handling data milking off this ecosystem, starting from the data entry manager down to data engineer. Uh, so these are the guys basically involved in, from my own perspective, in handling data right now. And the four on the right are, for me, a kind of intertwined. They have similar functions and skill sets. But basically, we'll be talking about who a data curator is. So a data curator is a professional. He acquires data, he or she acquires data, puts the data together, organizes them, manages the data, basically making data usable, making it accessible, ensures that it's accurate, ensures that years from now you still have access to that data, and the data has maintains integrity and is kept safe, and particularly that that data is relevant to the organization's needs. Uh, it involves a lot of work, and a data curator is very versatile because he deals with different types of data from different sources, and these sources also determine the name or the classification or the term that the data curator is described as. From the first slide, I mentioned these four sets of people. I look through different recruitment sites for how many times I would see the term data curator being called up. And I saw these other four quite similar to the roles that a data curator would have. So I put them all together. And from here, we could just see that they have quite a number of similarities, and it will be easy to pass off as a data administrator by just having more focus on maintaining the security of databases, or a processor, or as simple as just a data entry manager. So a data curator is basically a team player. From what I've said, working closely with data engineers, making data available in its best format for others to use. And from my preliminary, I'll say I just looked through most of these recruitment sites like Jobs Canada, Indeed, Job Bank, Fiverr for remote.com also. And as a data curator or administrator or any of those four, if you fit into them, you'd be earning between 40 and 60 CAD per hour, based majorly on your job description and years of experience, and also the organization or the institution you'd be working for. So where can I work as a data curator? Academic institutions, research organizations, as far as or as little as the food industry, government agencies, and basically everywhere managing and preserving data is essential for research or decision making, or where they prioritize data for public access purposes. Yeah, based on each of these places where you can work, data curators are usually, you could say you're a healthcare data curator, or a financial data curator, or a research data curator, and on and on. So I just put like a classification kind of thing based on the type of data, or based on the domain or the industry where you choose to function. This shows also how versatile one can be. It doesn't have to be boring or monotonous. If your interest changes from finance to transport to science data, from time to time you could switch if you have the basic technical skills that we'll see in some few slides. Also, based on the type of data, you have biocurators, which I'll talk about also later on. Geospatial data curator, particularly one that caught my interest is the textual data curator, someone who is involved in using text mining, natural language processing, a lot of things that we are right now, or we're doing right now in the Wishat Lab. So it's also a good area to look into. Major skills that a data curator has: must be knowledgeable in data management skills, creation of metadata, different relational database management skills, and also must be able to adhere to policies. Particularly, there are soft skills that different recruiters look out for: communication skills, observatory skills, someone with good or keen eye for details. The two that I see as the most important soft skills are the ability to adapt your skills, because there's a lot of technology involved with new tech coming up every day, a lot of tools involved, and you must just be able to adapt to the basic knowledge you have and use them across other fields. Also, organizational skills, if you're not well organized, is something you have to continue to work on because different tasks will be given at different times, and your ability to keep up and uh, meet up with deadlines would also be tested and needed. Uh, so technical skills, uh, basically the major technical skills are your ability to acquire data, collect data, either raw data from surveys, sensors, or already available data from databases and websites, your knowledge of APIs, ability to extract data, very essential. These are some of the things I have been trying to improve upon in the last 3-4 months. There are a lot of tools right now available to extract data. So across different fields, across different domains, uh, you have different tools needed, and your ability to know these tools and practice and gain experience is very essential. Data organization skills, also a major technical skill, ability to work with relational databases. Your knowledge of MySQL, PostgreSQL primarily is really essential. And importantly, knowledge of ontology, your ability to organize data using the right ontologies across the different fields is also essential. Cleaning and ensuring data quality is also a beautiful tool you have to arm yourself with, ability to validate data. There are a lot of tools across different domains, definitely that one we have to learn and take time off to learn about. More skills for a data curator is data access and sharing tools, database security, API integration. I'm just running through these because it will vary across different fields, and one will just have to look at which you have an interest in and then narrow your studying to that particular field. Here, for the most important part for me is version control, understanding version control systems using Git, Bitbucket, for tracking changes, and also metadata management. The ability to create secondary or tertiary data from the primary data that you have is essential. Having knowledge of descriptive or structural or administrative types of data and how to manage these is really essential. And finally, on the skill set, there are a lot of policies, a lot of laws, ethical considerations out there in acquiring data, organizing data, or making data safe. And every platform is trying as much as possible to guard their data. Is expensive, as I mentioned earlier. So knowing these policies ahead is definitely essential. So if you ask me, what's the pathway to becoming a data curator? The first is that you need a strong foundation in your irrelevant field. You could choose bioscience, computer science, any field of your choice, and then look out for specialized trainings, workshops, courses. Go to Udemy, go to Coursera, YouTube videos to gain peculiar skills that I've mentioned earlier and develop these technical skills. And then definitely you need practical experience. Years of experience is a major asset when you look through what recruiters are looking out for. And then the development of soft skills. Beyond all that technical stuff, you need to showcase yourself, show what you have done earlier. And one way of doing that is to be involved in publications, or you're ready to showcase databases you've worked on before or websites that you've worked on before or built in the process of doing your work. And just putting yourself out there, showing what you have done in the past. And most importantly is to be able to keep up with, to remain relevant and keep up with the fast-paced data environment. Tools are changing every day. Tech is changing and coming up every day. So your ability to keep up with that is really, really essential. From being a data curator, if you're looking at a career path, from then on, you could become a data analyst or a data scientist. Becoming a data engineer might require you going back to school if you didn't have a computer science or engineering background to gain particularly a degree. But I believe that off of the open academic environment we have now, data analysis and data science is easy to learn and add on to the knowledge that you have from data curation. I decided to look more closely at who biocurators are. I want everyone to hold me accountable. I'm like, at the end of 1 year, I want to put my hand on my chest and say, I am a biocurator. So basically, it depends on, I mentioned earlier that whatever your term is determined by the field and the kind of data you're gathering. So definitely this will be about biological data. You're looking at genetic sequences, protein structures, biological pathways, disease pathways, drug action pathways, different data about biology, genomic data, metabolomic data, whatever it is. And basically, biocurators annotate biological databases, work closely with bioinformaticians. If you're looking for an area to specialize in, might be genomics, might be proteomics or systems biology. But basically, biocurators are involved in advancing biological research and ensuring that biological information is passed across effectively. And so far, databases such as FoodDB, PathBank, DrugBank, I believe has use for biocurators among all the other databases that the Wishat Lab, of course, has put out there. I just drew the information closer home to biocurators. So your education would be in biology, as with many of us, microbiology or the medical sciences, and then specialized training in data management, curation methodologies. And if you're looking out for, perhaps it's crossed your mind, beyond the Wishat Lab, where can I work? Health Canada has a lot of agencies or directorates under it who use biocurators, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the Environment for and Climate Change Canada also, because they support initiatives related to public health and all of that. So also biotech companies and pharmaceuticals too. I will not repeat these anymore. The data visualization tools that are peculiar to biocurators, you have some browsers, integrated genome browser, KEGG for those of us dealing with pathways, Reactome, our very own PathBank, and SMPDB. I've mentioned this earlier when I was talking generally. So to stay informed and ensure you're well networked and you're keeping abreast of current information, these are some conferences you could attend, workshops, symposiums that it's necessary to use to keep up with information. And this will be my last slide. It seems to me that being a data curator was easy because majorly I just need a degree. Definitely you need to know one program, at least one programming language, MySQL, and work on your adaptability. It has huge advantages. It's versatile. You can't be bored. If after 6 months you're not so happy with biological data, you could switch. It's multidisciplinary in nature. You get to meet with other people across various fields. It's flexible. You get to work from home if you can, if you want to. And then eventually you could feel important, right? You're contributing to discoveries, decision-making, probably if you're working in a government agency, but it also comes with a lot of challenges. Like data can be very complex to manage, and complying to the laws and the rules can be tough. Some weeks ago, we've been back and forth. What are the rules or what are the policies concerning scraping data from the U of A library, for example, and going back and forth trying to see which we're going to breach or which we're not going to breach, which one we're not going to breach can be tough, can be complex. Also, the rate at which new tech is coming out now might be tough for some of us to keep up with, but it's one of the challenges or might be a challenge. Also, the cost of time, effort, learning and unlearning and relearning. It might cost you time, it might cost you money in trying to go to Udemy yourself and pay for some courses. And above all of this, I put screen time as a challenge. Normally, nowadays, screen time has become an issue. They're trying to control how many hours you spend either on your phone or on your laptop. And so if you're in this field, you probably will be spending most of the day on the screen, and your sitting posture, your back, your sight, it might tell on some parts of your health after a while. So these are majorly some of the challenges that you might face, but each of them are surmountable, taking one day at a time and keeping up your knowledge and working, being well networked to know what you need part-time. I think that will be all for me right now. These are some of my references. Thank you very much for listening.
Great. Thank you very much, Omolola.